Welcome to the latest installment of Cooking for Moderately Lazy People. Today we'll be making a recipe that I looked up when I had sweet potatoes from my garden, had entirely too many of them, and had to look for ways to get rid of them. These are sweet potato cookies with an orange glaze. Let's get started. First, we're going to peel and dice a couple of sweet potatoes and then boil them. We're going to use a cup of the sweet potato puree for the recipe, so I'd rather err on the side of having too much than too little. Besides, I can do other things with the sweet potatoes if I make too much. Once we've boiled the sweet potatoes until they're soft enough to mash, which on my stove is about 20 minutes, we'll go ahead and mash them. We'll set aside 1 cup of the mash tubers. Turns out for this, I wound up with 2 cups plus a little extra, so I froze 1 cup for later use and gave the little bit left over to our German Shepherd puppy. And since there's not really a good spot for this in the video, while I'm mashing sweet potatoes, let's go ahead and talk about cost. As usual, cost may vary in your area. Sweet potatoes cost about $1.20 each, and since I'm going to err on the side of overkill, I'm going to use 2, making it just south of $2.50. We're going to use less than $1 worth of flour, and the rest of the dry ingredients are effectively negligible cost because of the amounts used. We're going to use slightly above 50 cents worth of sugar and about 80 cents worth of brown sugar. The stick of butter is going to be about $1.25, and the egg is still running about 50 cents as of the recording of this video. The vanilla extract cost is basically negligible as well. We're probably using about $2.50 worth of pecans. Once we get to the glaze, we're using about $1.25 worth of powdered sugar and probably less than 50 cents worth of orange juice, as well as another negligible amount of vanilla extract. That brings the total cost to around just below $12 per batch. This recipe makes over 2 dozen cookies, bringing the per cookie cost to less than 50 cents. Now let's get our dry ingredients together. In a large bowl, we're going to combine 2 cups of flour, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of ginger, 1/2 teaspoon of allspice, 1/8 teaspoon of nutmeg, and 1/8 teaspoon of salt. We'll whisk these until combined and set aside. At this point, we'll start preheating our oven to 375 degrees. Now we'll get our wet ingredients together. We're going to get 1 stick of butter, melt it, and allow it to return to room temperature, then cream it with 1 cup of sugar and 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. Once we have those thoroughly mixed, we'll add in 1 room temperature egg and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. We'll then mix in our mashed sweet potatoes and mix until smooth. Once that's done, we'll add in our dry ingredients and mix until well combined. Finally, we'll add in 1 cup of chopped pecans and fold them into the batter. Once we have the nuts folded in, we're going to drop heaping tablespoons full onto a parchment-lined baking sheet, then bake for 18 minutes. Once they've done their time in the oven, we'll pull the cookies out and let them start cooling. After a few minutes, we'll transfer them to a wire rack to cool completely. And while our cookies are cooling, we'll make the glaze that I mentioned earlier. We'll put 1.5 cups of powdered sugar into a bowl, and then add 3 tablespoons of orange juice and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. We're going to whisk them together until combined. We'll then add in a little bit of cornstarch to thicken it up, because it won't be the thickest of glaze. Even with the cornstarch, it may run off the cookies a bit. That's why I let the cookies cool for about an hour before topping them, so the heat doesn't make the glaze even runnier. We'll top our cookies with it, trying our best to prevent it from running off. And there they are, sweet potato cookies with an orange glaze. They're a great way to get rid of spare sweet potatoes, and a pretty economical way to make treats for a party. If you like this recipe, or the video, or you want me to give Selena the German Shepherd puppy more belly rubs and treats, please feel free to like, subscribe, comment on, or share the video. Also, check out the Cooking for Moderately Lazy People playlist, which contains all the videos and YouTube shorts in the series. Don't forget to ring the notification bell for more weekly content. Thanks for watching, and bon appetit!